Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to How to Open the Third Eye, Sadhguru Answers. So I was looking up for Jnana yoga on Sadhguru's channel, and there was a list was the first thing that came up. So I decided to do this video. I'm assuming the third eye is wisdom, but I'm not sure. I'm hoping this is Jnana though, so let's go ahead and give it a shot.
The inside has become total vacuum, so the doorway gets sucked in. Another way of opening the third eye is you contain everything inside. The first way of doing is the best way of doing. The most significant aspect of Shiva is that he opened his third eye. All the other things, he danced, he meditated, married twice, did so many things, that's not the thing. He opened his third eye. It's only for that we remember him even today. For that, even today, after thousands of years, we still bow down to him. Because there is no substitute for knowing. There is no substitute for knowing means. And there is no way to know unless your perception goes beyond your present levels of perception. Unless your ability to see is enhanced beyond its present limitations, there is no way to know. To know is to be free.
Yeah.
So…
Real quick, that's actually, yeah. I mean, even in the materialistic world, knowing is to be free, because things we tend to fear are the unknown. You know, whenever you walk down a forest, for example, and you hear noises, you will fear it because you don't know what it is. It could be life-threatening. And to say, I don't know, maybe even knowing when you'll die, or knowing what it takes to do something, it removes a lot of questions, and it's, to some people, probably freeing, and to others maybe even to know something is frightening, which is kind of interesting. But to me, to know something is freeing. I think so far.
Shiva is significant for us not because he's wrecked in Himalayas, not because he played with snakes, not because of this or that, because he opened his third eye. He perceived what most human beings fail to perceive. What is unseen for a large segment of humanity became a normal part of his vision. That's what third eye means. So people say, when Shiva opened his third eye, it was a fiery process, fire came out of it. Why they're saying fire is because within himself he burnt everything that he thought mattered to him. He became like a fire chamber, like a kiln, that within himself he burnt everything that can be burnt, and then from every pore of his body, instead of sweat and blood coming, ash came out. Why Shiva is always depicted as ash smeared is he didn't go about smearing ash. Ash came out of his pores. This is to indicate that he has burnt it all. He has burnt every shred of ignorance, everything that one believes as true, he burnt. Because he burned everything and everything became ash, then this opening of the third eye could not be denied to him. When it opened, people saw fire because the inner chamber was burning.
I'm wondering too, as I continue to learn, is this burning of the inside, burning that everything that matters are identities as well? Is it? As in he burnt the identity that he is a man or blue or whatever color or whatever identities, whether he identifies as a husband, wife, whatever it is, all these identities are burnt as well. When you, I guess the idea for the most part is the removal of these identities, the egos also. And I guess Shiva done it by burning it, burning what was important to others, I believe. I can't remember. I thought he said what was important to other people, he burnt it, or what was important to him, he burnt it. So is that also what's the meaning of everything meaning to him inside was burnt, was his identities? That way he no longer identifies as anything?
There are two ways of opening the eye. One way is the inside has become total vacuum, so the doorway gets sucked in and naturally has to open. The doorway becomes limp and falls inward because there is nothing. He simply burnt not only his thought, not only his emotion, not just his relationships and possessions, he's just burnt his very being. The individual being is completely burnt out and there's a total vacuum, so the door fell inward and it's open. So people saw fire because it was burning still. Another way of opening the third eye is you contain everything inside. Everything is contained. You did not find any expression for your thought, any expression for your emotion, any expression for anything. You could not even utter a word. See, if you remain silent for 4 days, on the 5th day, you feel like singing suddenly. If you don't know how to sing, you want to howl like a wolf. Huh? Because you want to let go. You didn't let go anything, so much pressure built up, and this door got knocked open from inside. This is another way to do it. The first way of doing is the best way of doing, because if you open it by building pressure, it opens up today and again tomorrow it may just shut itself. Or before enough pressure builds up and this opens, something else freaks in you and you run away. Yes. Because
I was gonna say, I kinda like the idea where, well, if everything was burning inside, why not the door burnt down too? That way it's forever open.
the pressure builds up in such a way, if you have to hold it, you need… because you don't know what's happening, it looks like torture. It looks like 7th degree torture. If you're putting yourself through the whole process, then definitely your mind will ask, what is the point of going through this torture? Because it's a lot of torture. Not letting a single thought find expression, not letting a single emotion find expression, not uttering a single word, not finding expression to a single opinion that arises in your mind, single idea that arises in your mind. Oh, it'll burst you somewhere. If you hold everything intact, this will open, otherwise something else will freak. But you are a little… you're diplomatic. You believe in the middle path. That means you don't wish to get anywhere.
I keep saying, well, I don't know if I keep saying this, but I do say this about myself. I consider myself roughly in the middle. I understand both perspectives and try to come to a decent conclusion in the middle. Sadhguru, what are you talking about? You talking about me, man?
People who believe in the middle path, they're determined not to get anywhere in their life.
Oh no! I gotta reposition. Oh, no. That's not me, Sadhguru. I find a middle path and I will get somewhere in life. I will find a way. I am that determined in that middle path.
Middle path means just your comfort zone.
No, that's true though.
Neither this nor that. Either you become empty, the sheer power of vacuum will open it, or you build up pressure in you, it'll burst open. Two ways of opening. Middle path means you are a professional bullshitter.
Perhaps I am. I don't know. No, I will find my path for sure. Whenever I say I'm a middle ground type of person, doesn't necessarily mean I don't take one side or another. Is it always a compromise? Perhaps, but not all the time. Again, and I guess that's the three paths that I determined: the materialistic, that in between, or the materialistic, Advaita Vedanta, and then that in between path. And I still understand each one. I don't know which one's the truth one. You know, a lot of people say, "Oh, Advaita Vedanta, you've been watching this and doing all this." Yeah, I acknowledge all the paths, and I continue to explore all the paths until I determine which, based on my experience and my practices, whichever ones happens to be the right one. For right now, for all I know, all three paths, I may see them as three different paths, but they could literally be the same path.
Really? Full-time bullshitter you are, not professional. Profession means they do it only part-time, right? They do it only certain times of the day. It doesn't matter where you go, you do your own stuff. Middle path. Middle path is a way of not getting anywhere, and after some time thinking, this doesn't go anywhere. Right now you're walking on the street, suddenly you found a big rock. There are only two ways to go, either this way or this way. This way a tiger is growling, this way there's fire burning. You think the best thing is middle path, that is to go into the rock. Obviously this is not going to go anywhere. This will give you good exercise for some time. If you try to go into the rock, it's a good exercise, really, it'll build a lot of good muscle if you take the middle path. It's just that you don't go anywhere.
I still consider myself to be the middle path, but then again, what is the middle path? You know, I guess in terms of that last scenario, if you looked at an example from Sadhguru, because I don't know exactly what is the middle path. I say I am the middle path, but what is that exactly? So in terms of that last example, going with what Sadhguru said, yeah, you take the middle path, you get the rock, you work out, you get stronger. You can't exactly fight fire with a rock. But if you get strong enough, you can fight a tiger with a rock. I just don't know how much stronger you have to get, or lucky. Because if you go down the path of fire, you will burn. No amount of strength is going to get you through that. But then again, you also have to… there's a lot of calculations. But, you know, I'm rationalizing here. But either way, they're both bad choices. You know, you can get nowhere, but you'll be alive. And that's kind of the another idea that I have. There's a saying… the brave only die once, the coward die many times before their deaths. So basically, what that basically says is the fact that, you know, when you're brave, you take chances. And that doesn't necessarily mean that every time you become brave, you die, but eventually one of those things will probably get you killed. Now, I don't know the exact meaning of that, but that's how I'm interpreting it. And also, the real interpretation is, or as far as I understand, is the fact that a person says, "Oh man, I want to get that job, but I don't know. I don't want confrontation." So you cower away. You die. You failed to get the job because you're too coward. You're not brave enough to step up, or when someone were to fight you, and you're like, oh, I want to fight, and you like, oh no, I don't want to fight, and you run away. You're a coward out of that fight. I mean, it could mean many different things, not necessarily just violence, but also in terms of finding someone to love. You know, you're like, oh, she's very pretty, she's so nice and kind, I'd like to hopefully date her one day. And it's like, but I don't know, you know, she might be taken, or I don't want to take a chance. What if she says no? You know, cowardice of acting upon your action. You died there too. You lost your chance of perhaps being happy for the rest of your life. So, and this is that middle path type thing. I think I kind of associate with Sadhguru, where you take the path of fire, you take the path of the tiger, or you take the middle path, the path of, in a sense, cowardice. I don't think of myself as coward, but I could see it being associated that way. But I guess I think about it a little bit differently. Now, you could say that I'm trying to be a smart ass about that, and perhaps, but I don't know. It's just that I reason the path out. So again, with the example of Sadhguru about, oh, you can work out with the rock. Well, that's actually a very reasonable thing. You think about what you can and cannot do. You cannot fight fire without water. And as far as the story goes, there's no water. Can you fight a tiger without can you fight a tiger? Well, you have a better chance of fighting a tiger. And if you can work out with the rock, get stronger, you better your chances of overcoming this obstacle by preparing yourself before, you know, going at it. there is like, you know, you don't go jumping on whatever it is you're trying to accomplish without prior knowledge to things. You want to be prepared, you want to be aware, and you want to know what you're getting into as much as possible before getting into it. That way you have a higher chance of succeeding. Now, is everything I said related to what Sadhguru was talking about? I don't know, but to me it seems like it. Perhaps it's just me being a smart butt. Which, you know, that's how I think. I rationalize a lot of things. And also, I guess with the Bhakti video, I haven't, the second video hasn't released at the time of this recording, but I made a statement there, and I read one of the comments actually. And one of the comments, I can't remember, hold on, let me pause and I'll read the comment real quick. Okay, so the comment is, Bhakti or love or any emotional or spiritual experience happen at emotional level, not at thought level. You can take love or anger as an example that you have experienced before. You will know that anger is not at thought level. And I'm like, I didn't think about it that way. And whenever you said happens at an emotional level and not thought level, I started to think, I guess I've been rationalizing my emotions. That way it doesn't overcome me. Then as I thought about that, I thought about what Sadhguru said some time ago. I can't remember which video it was, where he said there are people out there who are very passionate, who are just angry and furious, but they're not mad at the world. They're not mad at people, but they're so overcome by their emotion. And I just started thinking to myself, could you imagine running into this person like, oh, I'm so mad, I'm angry, and you go like, are you okay? It's like, yeah, I'm fine, but I'm angry. Like, did someone make you mad or something? It's like, no, I'm happy, but I'm angry. You know, like, I'm confused. Do you need help? Are you fine? I am fine and angry. It's kind of weird, but yeah, you know, I guess I never thought about the emotional things, an emotional level as opposed to a thought level. So like I said a little bit earlier, I guess I've always rationalized my emotions so that it's never been out of control. Perhaps I'm suppressing my emotion, but I don't know. I guess I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing, because I suppose in terms of the people around you, if they don't understand what's going on, especially like running into someone who's just very furious and angry, you know, he's like, oh my gosh, that person's crazy, stay away from him, he might hit you, even though maybe you won't. So I suppose in terms of this level, that's something that you have to do in your own little you know, make sure no one sees you, otherwise people probably think you're crazy or something, you know. So and again, that comment, it just made me think about that. It's like I don't know if I said this before, but I know I have been trying to rationalize. Like the two things I say is rational, think about things, and when I become emotional, I also include that into thinking about, like, why am I angry? Why am I mad? Is there something I can do? Can I do better, or whatever it is? And that emotion never really goes anywhere. It's not like it's suppressed. It's just like, well, it's not needed anymore. I know what I need to do. So that's actually interesting. So I would probably, in terms of emotion, Bhakti, I am terrible at that because I control it very well, decently well. But in terms of devotion, but it's not in an emotional level. Interesting. Anyways, that is that's the end of this video. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.